Alright, what's going on, guys? I'm right here from Student Aesthetics, just enjoying the good weather a little bit, and I also wanted to do a Snapchat Q&A because I asked you guys this morning to send in your questions through Snapchat, and I got a crazy amount of responses. So I'm going to try and answer as much as I can right now. So let's get it going. Alright, so the first question, do you have any tips what kind of supplements I should use during my cutting phase, and how long should the cut last? Well, that kind of depends on how much fat you have to lose. Usually a cut is for about 6 to 20 weeks maximum, unless you're prepping for a show. What kind of supplements to take? Like, there are not really any necessary supplements. I would say some multivitamin and fish oils, because you're usually getting less fats when you're cutting. So you definitely want to have some fish oil to supplement with that. Other than that, I recommend creatine during your cutting phase as well, to maintain your strength, right? I'm kind of new to lifting. I cut down to 140 pounds, but I still have love handles and they don't seem to go away. My body fat is around 14% right now, according to calipers, and I can't even see my abs. Is that because I haven't built my abs, and should I bulk or cut? Well, at 14%, it's not really weird that you're not seeing your abs. That's pretty normal. You will see your abs at about 8–10% body fat usually. At 14% body fat, you usually don't see any abs. Like, I may do because I have like big blocks, but still at 14%, you still want to cut down a little further to really see your abs, right? Do you eat more calories on workout days? All right, so that kind of depends on what kind of workout split you actually have. Like, a while ago, I did full body 3 times a week, and in that situation, I would actually eat more calories on my workout days. But now, since I'm back to training 5 to 6 times a week, it doesn't make any sense, because in that situation, I would only eat higher or lower calories for like 1 day, right? So it kind of depends on how often you train. I usually recommend, like, if you train 2 to 4 times a week, you could do that approach, but at the end of the day, it comes down to your weekly caloric intake, all right? So it doesn't really matter, it's more personal preference. I've been following your channel for the last 6 months, very grateful. I started a keto diet, I train first thing before work, fasted. I lift heavy for around half an hour, and I finish with half an hour of incline walking. Is this the best way to lose unwanted body fat? All right, so is it the best way? That's really hard to say, because that mainly comes down to your diet. Training is a very small part of losing fat. Even cardio, like, you can do as much cardio as you want. If you eat way too many calories, you're not gonna lose fat. So this might be a good approach, but half an hour of lifting seems a little bit less, in my opinion. Seems a little bit little. It seems not like enough. I would lift for about an hour for sure, unless you really train like every single day, but you didn't say anything about that. So usually you want to lift around 4 times a week, and then just for like 1 hour or so. I'm 16 years old and I've been going to the gym for about 8 months now. I've seen steady results and my strength has gotten far better, and I'm always progressing, but I feel the effort I put in doesn't show enough in the results. I feel like I should be making lots of gains, not minor ones. What should I do? All right, so 8 months, that is not really a time range that you can make crazy progress on. Like you're saying, if you're progressing in strength and you're getting stronger, then you're good to go. Like, don't really worry about it. It's the process, all right? It's 2016, everybody wants quick results, but that's just not gonna happen. It just takes a lot of time. So you gotta be willing to accept that fact. You gotta be happy with the progress that you have made already. How do you quickly gain mass without gaining fat? All right, so there isn't really a quickest way to gain mass, all right? It is just a slow and steady process. So you should be in a clean bulking phase, which means you eat around 200 calories more than your maintenance level, which will give you clean gains, and you should focus on progressing in the gym as well. And in that situation, you will minimize fat gain. But maximizing mass gain, like, there's only a certain amount of muscle you can gain. And a lot of people think that by doing a dirty bulk, for example, you will gain way more muscle, but it's not really true. Your body can only gain a certain amount of muscle mass. I want to lose body fat. I have 76 kilograms. Should I take Lipo6 or thermogenic? I'm pretty sure those are some fat burners. I've heard of Lipo6 before. Fat burners will not make you lose fat, guys. It is a supplement, and there's no supplement on this world except for steroids that are magical and will make you just burn fat and gain muscle. It doesn't work that way. They are used to supplement, and especially fat burners. The main benefit fat burners have is basically that they will give you energy. There's a lot of caffeine in it, and there's green tea extract in it, which are basically the most important ingredients. So no, they will not make you lose fat. You will have to be in a caloric deficit, so your diet will have to be in check. Since I'm only 17, is a shortcut of maybe 1 month harmful for muscle mass, or should I just keep clean bulking? Right now I'm 11 to 12% body fat. All right, so no, that's definitely possible. Like, if you want to be shredded for the summer, like, you can cut down for about a month or 6 weeks. I mean, don't worry about it. It's not going to be harmful for your gains, because afterwards you're going to be able to get back on the grind and gain again, so it's no problem. How do you find the motivation to keep pushing forward and not to give up? Right, so this mainly comes down to how bad do you actually want it. That's something you got to ask yourself and look back at the amount of hours you already put in to do something. Like once you really get into it, it's hard to give up, because mainly if I would have quit everything right now, then I would have put in years of blood and sweat and tears for nothing, right? So every time I'm not motivated anymore, I look back at what have I accomplished and what can I accomplish more in the future, right? So just look back on your progress and I use that as a motivation to keep on going. Is burning a high amount of calories as dangerous as being on a high deficit on a cut? Well, those things basically come down to the same thing. Like if you burn a lot of calories, that will put you in a large deficit. So a lot of people think cardio is different than eating less, but it's actually pretty much the same, guys. If you burn 500 calories with cardio, it basically has the same effect as eating 500 calories less in your diet. So yes, being in a high caloric deficit in any way by high expenditure or by eating less will be dangerous for losing muscle mass for sure. Any advice for good bulking foods? All right, so definitely check out my mass gainer shake that is on my channel. And the basic bulking foods are basically pasta, which is very easy to eat. A lot of pasta with some sauce, and like breads are very easy usually. And then for the fats, like peanut butter, almond butter, all these kind of things, like put them on rice crackers, put them on breads. What do you think about upper body and lower body splits as an average bodybuilder? Yeah, I think it's pretty amazing, guys. I have an upper lower split on my channel, so I think that goes to show how well funded I am of it. But I suggest you mean that if it's only for beginners, also for advanced lifters. And yes, it's also for advanced people. It's a very, very good split if you want to train 4 times a week, for sure. I've done it myself recently as well. What's up, bro? How many kilograms should you gain in a week, month while lean bulking? All right, so what I usually suggest, depending on for how long you have been lifting, is just half a kilogram to 1 kilogram a month, which may not sound like a lot, but that's pretty much the most amount of muscle mass you can possibly gain in that amount of time. So you can gain more than that, but most of that will be fat, guys. So I suggest shoot for half a kg to 1 kg per month. All right, so next question. I'm just starting out. Should I use protein powder or should I build muscle first? All right, so you first got to realize that protein powder is not a magical supplement. I've said this multiple times before. Protein powder is basically a substitute for food. So if you can eat enough proteins in your diet from whole foods, chicken breast, eggs, etc., then no, you do not need it. But it is a useful tool to get in your proteins, and especially if you're starting out, it's usually pretty hard to cook a lot of food and to prep a lot of food. So I do suggest actually using it. Hello, if I eat 2 to 3 big meals instead of 5 to 6 smaller meals, will it make me fat? No, it will not make you fat, guys. It all comes down to total calories at the end of the day. So for example, if you eat 3 big meals that are 1,000 calories each, that will have the same effect as 6 meals with 500 calories, right? 3,000 calories in total. That's all that matters. Who inspired you into fitness? I don't really have like one inspiration figure. It's not like Z's didn't really inspire me to start fitness. I didn't even know about the guy when I started. But one of the people that I really ran into pretty rapidly was Steve Cook. And he definitely inspired me when he was on the cover magazine. He wasn't that big of a deal back in the day, I believe. He was just coming up and he got into a magazine and I was like, damn, this is the guy. You know, I want to look like this guy. He's amazing personality as well. So kind of Steve Cook, I guess. 2 questions. 1, do you even lift? Nah, I don't. 2, are your gains Adobe? Yeah, they're fucking Adobe, guys. You see my videos, right? I have someone who photoshops all my videos. What's your favorite body part to train? Probably chest, guys. It used to be back, but my back is so overly developed right now that I like training chest nowadays. If you eat enough protein and the right amount of calories, doesn't matter where the rest of the calories come from. For example, eating higher fats. Right, so if you want to gain muscle or lose fat, there really is no reason to be crazy high in fats, all right? Because fats, they serve for hormonal issues, hormonal reasons. And once your fat is high enough, there is really no reason to take in more fats because they will not do anything productive. While eating a lot of carbohydrates instead will give you a crazy amount of energy, will help you with getting better workouts in, right? With moving more weights. So it's very important to focus on eating a lot of carbohydrates, and fat should usually make up for around 20% of your total calories maximum. Who is your idol in the bodybuilding world? Well, then again, I guess I'd have to say Steve Cook. I mean, he's just a really big inspiration for some reason. Yeah, Christian Guzman, when you look at what he's accomplished, like obviously those are just damn goals. But other than that, like I don't really have idols or anything like that I really look up to. I just want to keep doing my own thing, you know, and Rob Lipset is actually someone who inspired me a lot lately as well, because he's doing really good with his YouTube channel too. So those are some people that inspire me for sure, but not really idols, I wouldn't really say. My question was if intermittent fasting has any negative effects for your muscles, because it's good after you're waking up to eat quick proteins as fast as possible. So that's another myth really. Like your body doesn't really need food directly after it wakes up, right? Like if you eat all your total calories, your body will take a lot of time to break down those calories. So it's not like if you eat right before going to sleep that your body will simply at night will think like, hey, fuck this shit, I have too many food in my system, I will just store it all as fat and start over again tomorrow. It doesn't work that way. Your body doesn't work in a 24-hour period, right? That's why we look at total weekly calories. And when you look at people back in the days, like you can even, studies actually show that you can fast for up to 24 hours before your body actually starts breaking down proteins, right? So it takes a lot of time before your body actually starts doing that. So no, you don't need food right after you wake up. That doesn't really matter. As long as you focus on your total daily caloric intake and your protein intake for the day, you're basically good to go. You can basically eat your protein all in one meal, which I don't really recommend. But if you eat it like in 3 meals a day, that's completely fine. Whole wheat pasta or regular pasta while cutting, or no pasta at all. That kind of depends on what kind of macros you have to work with. If you don't have a lot of carbs to work with, you probably want to stay away from pasta. I personally eat pasta during my cut pretty often, you know. I stick to whole wheat pasta, but that is mainly just because it makes me feel more fulfilled, more full, and so I can hit my fiber goals of the day. So those are basically some variables you want to take into account. You can't really say what food is good and bad, and that's where I think a lot of people go wrong. Like you can basically eat anything while cutting, as long as you keep it reasonable and as long as it fits your daily intake, right? So if you have 30 grams of fiber to hit, and at the end of the day, you still need a lot of fiber, then yes, you want to go for the whole wheat option. But if not, and you're not very hungry, then simply go for the regular option if you want to enjoy yourself. Like it kind of depends on a lot of factors, right? Those are really not questions you can't really answer. So, all right, guys. So that basically concluded the Q&A. I hope you guys enjoyed it again, and let me know in the comments down below if you did. Make sure to like the video if you liked the video, comment and subscribe, and peace out, guys. See you in the next video.